Andrea Heuston here. I am the hostess of the Lead Like a Woman show, where I feature strong, amazing, and creative female leaders and how they're changing our world for the better. We have over 40,000 people on social media who are sharing our message of empowering female leaders to empower others. And keep sharing. Follow the show right now as you listen. And if you're so inclined, we'd love a 5-star review on Apple. Head on over when you get a chance. In this episode today, we're going to talk about how to connect through art. But before we get to that, you know that this episode is brought to you by one of my companies, and this time it's Artitude. Are you a woman who wants to start a business, or do you already own one? Artitude has a special offer for you. Learn to pitch for sales or for funding with our women-owned package. It includes content and speaker coaching and a pitch or sales presentation so that you can win with confidence. You can find it at artitudes.com/women-owned. And that's not woman-owned, it's the collective. WOMENOWNED. All right, and the best way to find me, just type hashtag Lead Like a Woman in your search bar, and it's kind of magic. I come up. Or as always, I am all over LinkedIn. I'm excited to introduce our guest today. I had the privilege of meeting Janna Willoughby in Buffalo, New York earlier this year. And Janna is an artist, poet, musician, and entrepreneur. Her company, Papercraft Miracles, specializes in handcrafted paper art and gifts to bring meaning to people's lives. You should see some of the beauty she creates. Janna founded Papercraft Miracles while still in college in 2003 and has been building the brand ever since. She was awarded a $25,000 Ignite Buffalo Small Business Grant in 2018 and was named 40 Under 40 for her stationery gifts from Stationery Trends magazine in 2019. Papercraft Miracles thrived in 2020 despite the pandemic, and they've done custom projects for major brands such as Twitter, Pinterest, and Capital One. In 2021, they landed a contract to create 500,000 seed bombs to be included in Lowe's Spring Garden giveaway. They're pretty cool too. And that was an event that was across the country. Also in 2021, Janna was selected as one of the top 4 paper crafters in the US to appear on the TV show Meet Your Makers Showdown, streaming on Discovery Plus. She was also awarded the 2023 Women in Manufacturing Award from Business First. There's a lot of awards there, Janna. Welcome to the Lead Like a Woman show.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I think this is great. So I took a look at your history, and you have run a gas station. You've taught writing and art to middle schoolers. You've worked as a graphic designer and a photo editor. My goodness, all while building your own company. So what led you to create Papercraft Miracle?
It's a really long story, and I'm going to try to do the Cliff's Notes version. Initially, I went away to college to be a poet on a creative writing scholarship.
I love it.
And they had all of these courses in book art. So paper making, book binding, that kind of stuff. And I didn't even know you could take classes in any of those things, let alone that they had them at this weird tiny little school that I went to. So
funny.
I signed up for all of the ones I could get into as a freshman. And at the end of that year, I met with my college advisor and I said, these are all the classes that I took. What major am I working toward? And he said, those are all electives, so nothing.
Oh, no. No.
Right? And I was like, well, shit, like, what am I supposed to do now?
That's funny.
You're on a scholarship. I can't do 5 years. And he was really awesome and asked me a question that changed my life. He said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to be an artist and I don't want to be broke. How do I do that?
Oh, I like that. That's a good question, right?
Right. And he said, you should do that as your major. And I looked at him like he was crazy. Like, that's not a major because everyone would take it. And he said, do you know how rare it is to be 19 years old and know exactly what you want to do for your life? He's like, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Like, you already know. And so he said, we have a major called integrative studies. You can make up your own major. So you should spend the rest of your 4 years figuring out how to make money as an artist.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I did. And I made up my own major where I put entrepreneurial business and creative art integrated together as one course of study. And I spent the rest of my time learning how to start a business, run a business, but also sell art.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That is such a cool story. What an incredible gift he gave you as well by asking you that question and saying, then do it. Because a lot of us go into college and we do this. Oh, I have to do this, this, or this. I have to study this. This is the only thing available to me. But it's not. So well done, you at that small college. Amazing. Now, he was what?
He was just amazing.
Yeah, it's so important to have people like that in your life, right? And the advisors who don't go by the book all the time.
Right.
That's what a good mentor is too.
Major in communications, whatever. Like all the rest of the artists who don't know really what they want to do are going to do. And I'm so glad I didn't do that. By the time I graduated,
John, I have a degree in communications. So.
I had all the stuff. I had the business plan. I had a really crappy Angel Fire website that you couldn't buy anything on in 2004, a really long time ago. I had a little print catalog and business cards, and for all purposes, when I graduated, I was ready I had all the stuff I needed to actually.
You were ready to go. Okay, that's so cool. But I'm going to backtrack a little bit to your early college years, because you have quite the origin story that led you to where you are now as well. Can you somehow, I mean, there's a lot of events here, but can you tell our listeners a little bit about your hair standing on end?
Yes. So, after I had started my own major, but didn't quite know exactly what kind of business I was going to do and how I was going to integrate all of my creative things, the beginning of my junior year of school, 3 weeks into the school year, my mom passed away.
Oh,
Friday
so sorry.
Of course, on Friday the 13th. And, it's just 1,000 miles away from home, becoming an instant adult. My brother and I inherited a house that was totally falling apart. She didn't have a will. So there was all sorts of, we were responsible for the house, but had no money and no agency to do anything with it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm 1,000 miles away. And then 4 months after that, while trying to figure out how to be an adult and do all this stuff and continue to go to school, my dorm burnt to the ground with all of my stuff in it while I was in it on the next birthday she would have had after she died.
Oh no, oh my gosh, what is she telling you? Sorry.
I know. And then they cut my financial aid for my senior year because I couldn't put her on my FAFSA anymore. All in the span of 6 months, like all of that happened.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
So can we say you're resilient? Maybe? I'm thinking maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realize what that was or that it was the thing until I started going to therapy in my 30s. But
wow, trauma.
Yeah, I initially kept thinking, because the fire happened on her birthday and she would have been 55. I kept thinking about 5 has always been my lucky number. So I was like, there's at least
cool.
2 lucky things that are coming from this. There's, I don't want to be one of those everything happens for a reason kind of people, because that sucks. Sometimes things just suck.
Sometimes things just suck. I agree.
But this is one of those things that it was like, this happened and I'm supposed to learn something from it. Mm-hmm. And the one lucky thing, the first thing, me and everyone else who was in that building while it was on fire got out alive. Which
every single person.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah, and it went to the ground in 4 hours. So it was fast.
Not fireproof at all.
No. And so the other lucky thing, I kept thinking for a couple of days, and it was on the third day. They always say on the third day, that's.
Oh yeah.
So on the third day, I looked at my roommate, and I just busted out laughing, and I was like, "Dude, all our shit,
everything burned.
All our shit burnt up." And I started laughing and she started laughing.
Wow.
We're rolling around on the ground like crazy people. And
sometimes you just need to laugh, don't you?
Yeah. And it hit me. And I grew up with my mom, who was a total hoarder. I didn't know.
No.
I have
a mother who's that too.
Until I saw that show Hoarders and had major panic attacks. And I was like, oh my God, that's where I lived. Wow. And it just, right at that moment, it hit me that that's what she was sending me, was this message, a lesson that she didn't learn her whole entire life, that you don't need any of that stuff to survive. None. Not one thing did I need to survive that was in there. And
now, as you know, I've had the same experience. My house burned down. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks, but in some way it's also super freeing to really realize that you don't need any of that stuff, because you really 5 things to survive. You need food, you need water, you need shelter, you need someone that loves you, and something that drives you. Everything else is cake. And being 20 years old and knowing that, where as a young person, any form of success, like any way that you measure success as a person who's a young person, is by the things that you have. Like, you don't have a career, you don't own property in general, you don't, at 20 years old. It's your stuff. And realizing that stuff doesn't define you, that stuff doesn't prove that you're successful. And it just solidified so much that the main thing that's the most important about being a human alive on this earth is being connected to other people and being able to affect change and to have deep, meaningful conversations with people, and to be able to do that. And
wait, Janna, I got to say something. Your hair stood on end a few times.
Yes.
So I just love that reference. I love that you used it multiple times as well, because it's a physical response. You had a physical response to something that was happening.
Yeah, my mom was very much connected to the energy of the world. So the fact that this happened on her birthday, I know that she made that happen. I know she did. And wow. I have goosebumps thinking about it right now. And the energies of the world are never created or destroyed. They change from one form to another. And
I like that. Can you say that again? The energies of the world.
Yes.
Go ahead, say it again. I love it.
Never created or destroyed. They just change from one form to another forever.
That's amazing.
And ever.
Wow.
So all the energy that made her live, when it was no longer contained in her body, she could, concentrate it and make things happen all the time. And she still does. And it's been over 20 years.
Wow.
After the fire, I started making a lot of artist books where the form and the design and the materials and the words and the images and how you interact with it all work together to make one bigger concept or a bigger idea. It's like my favorite art form. I love it.
That's
I
cool.
love pushing the envelope of what people would consider a book. I'm like, it could be a box, and it opens and it opens and it opens and it opens and it tells the story.
So cool.
All of these artist books about my experiences with grief and trauma and coming back to life, and about this newfound awakening that I had about what was really and truly important about being alive, and that you have to seize the moment, because life
is
short. I was not about to wait until I was 50 to start doing the stuff that I love, because my mom died at 54. I could have been dead in that fire, but I wasn't. I was like, if I'm lucky, I got 34 more years from where I'm at right now. If I'm as lucky as she was to get 54 years, that's what I got. So I waste a single minute. And I started doing these art kind of show and tell events where I would show these books and read what they said and interact with people and share them with people. And afterwards, people would come up to me, professors included, and they would be crying. And they would say, I'm a different person than I was before I saw that.
That's beautiful.
Like, you changed the way that I think about myself and my place in the world.
Wow.
5 minutes, 10 minutes. And I said, you know what? I don't care what I do for the rest of my life, but I want to do that. And I want to do that as often as intentionally as possible. And that's why I called the business Papercraft Miracles.
Miracle.
Miracle that saved me when I literally had nothing.
Wow. What a beautiful story.
That's the shortest version ever.
So you know what? A lot of people want to know, when you start a business or start a new venture, what went wrong. I want to know, Janna, when you started Papercraft Miracles, what went right?
I didn't actually start it right away. That's one went right. I know it sounds weird. I had all the plans. I had everything all put together, but I also owned a house that was falling apart and still had to deal with my mom's estate. So once I graduated from school and came back to Buffalo, even though I wanted to become a full-time artist and really do my business up, I was like, I can't. I have this house.
Right.
I have to be able to make an income right now. And Buffalo was not having any of the renaissance that it's having right now. And so there was nothing happening in Buffalo then. So that's why I ended up working at the gas station, and I worked there as assistant manager and learned all sorts of things about running someone else's business.
Right.
Can't learn in school.
It's true.
It's
experiential, right?
Right. To manage the people and manage the unhappy customers and and do inventory and do payroll and, figure out the problems and kind of figure out a daily schedule and learn how to do those things that you have to do hands-on. So,
right. And you can't learn them any other way.
You really can't. And so I know it sounds odd that I'm like, well, I waited to do it. That's the best thing that I did. But I mean, I did it really, really small time. And mostly I was making things for my friends and relatives who were getting married and having babies and stuff like that, because I had no money to buy them anything. But I was like, I could make them something that they will never forget. And I started doing it. And it picked up because people would go to those events. They would get those wedding invitations. They would sign that baby book and they'd say, this is amazing. Where did you get it?
Wow.
And little by little, I just was doing a lot of that kind of stuff, building the brand awareness without any paid marketing, of course. And eventually,
it's called bootstrapping, friend. That's what we do first.
Craft show here and there, and did some stuff, and did some things here, and kind of was making a name for myself as an artist. I was doing a lot of music and poetry and doing performing that way, and I was out in the arts community. Like, people definitely knew who I was. And in 2013, my tax accountant was like, how much are you making on the side doing this? And I told her, and she goes, yeah, you're going to want to start collecting sales tax. Like,
oh yeah,
you're at that point where, it's not going to fly under the radar as your hobby anymore. And he's like, then you can run off all these art supplies that I know you're spending all your money on.
That's right. See?
So 2013, 9 years after I graduated college, I actually made it official in 2013.
That's amazing. So you're 20 years old, but you're also only 11 years old. So there we go.
Yes. And in 2016, after I had my first kid, my job where I was working didn't want to allow me to work from home. And I said, you don't pay me enough to cover childcare and healthcare. So
and that's a problem.
And my husband, he's still my husband, but he said, if you made more money, then I'd stay home, but you don't. It's, it just makes sense. He said, stay home and quote unquote, do your book thing.
Do your book thing.
Do your book thing. I didn't have paper making equipment or any of that kind of stuff. I just made books. And so I stayed home, and finally I didn't have to get up for an alarm. I didn't have to go to somebody else's dream job every day. And I stayed home with my son and learned how to be a mom, and said, I took my business plan off the shelf and said, I have been waiting to do this. Really do it for a really long time, 12 years. And I rebuilt my website, rebranded the company, started building up my social media, all things that I could do at home while taking care of my son. And he would take a nap in the baby carrier or in the jumper or whatever in my office. And I figured out how to do it. And
I remember the days myself. Same thing.
I did this.
That is so cool. Well done. I love it. Well, you help people connect through art. You use your art, your paper art, to help people connect. So can you give us an example of one of the big projects you've done? I know the seed bombs, but what other ones have you done?
I mean, it's funny because some of my favorite ones aren't like huge projects that we've done.
So tell us about your favorite then.
Well, there's one, this woman hired us she came to us with this box of photographs, original photographs. And she said, my friend is in a hospice, and my best friend. And these are all the photos she had from her whole life. But I don't know who these people are, most of them. And she said, can you scan all these photographs and make us 2 copies of a photo album where there's space next to all of these photos? So while she's still alive and with it, I can sit with her and go through all of these pictures, and she can tell me who these people are and what her memories are with these people, and I can take all the notes in them. And I can give one to her family. Oh,
I love that.
And we used, her friend had these old silk handkerchiefs, and we used those on the covers. And Beautiful. Her life was built into these books. And it gave her friend a way to tell her story and to allow her story to continue on and allow her family to know who those people are forever.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Do that kind of thing. And to make it that she got to live with her friend for the rest of her life instead of just watching. And,
what a beautiful story too. I love that you help create those connections. Because it's so important, that human connection. We don't want it to go away necessarily. Like there's so many stories and photos that I have from my grandparents on both sides. I have no idea who the people are. I remember as a kid, my grandma said, "This is this person." I'm like, I was probably 8. I have no idea. So to be able to do that and create that kind of golden thread for the generations to come, it's a beautiful thing that you do.
It was it was so special. And, you know, a lot of my most special stuff like that comes from my clients. They said, I'm looking for a way to use these to do this thing, but I don't know how to do that.
I love that you do the custom stuff. I think that's really important. Now, the other thing, like I said earlier, is I want you all to check out Janna's website because she has some incredible collections there to take a look at. The books are so beautiful. There's so much there. Let me just say, the books are beautiful. The paper flowers, the handmade stationery. You can even buy the seed bombs, and there's a lot of other things too. We'll put a link in the show notes, but it is papercraftmiracles.com. So, Janna, you also are very involved in the entrepreneurial world. In fact, you are right now creating a course to teach artists how to run a business and be successful. Tell us what part of those proceeds will go for.
So once the course is launched and live, I'm going to take a portion of the proceeds and make a fund to provide childcare at professional development events.
Love it.
So that mompreneurs can not even have to take any ounce of mental extra energy, can just bring their kids, drop them off in the playroom, and actually go and experience the professional development events and be focused and learn how to be leaders. Because
I think that's beautiful.
You know, how many more moms would be in the room if they didn't have to think about or worry about childcare, or if they didn't have to hold a baby on their hip while also trying to like focus and pay attention in a lecture or whatever.
It's true.
And
childcare is one of those things that we don't put enough emphasis on in the US.
We don't. And I am so insanely privileged to have the village that I have, including my parents, both my stepmoms and my dad and my in-laws and good friends, and just all of these people around me who love me. They love my family. They love my kids. They love my business, and they want it all to happen. And they show up. And
such an important thing to have that support
my
system.
Kids so I can do this.
Wow.
And there's so
I love that.
None of that, and it makes me insane. I just want to. I gotta pay it forward and make it possible for other moms to inspire their kids by following their dreams and being powerful and being leaders and changing the world.
I love that. That's so beautiful. The world changes when women rise. So it's so important that women have a seat at the table. And we have to take that seat. Not given that seat, but to take that seat. And this will help. But you're also involved in other entrepreneurial things. So you are a member of NABO, which is National Association of Women Business Owners. But you are also on the board at one point. And then you're a founding member of the chapter's Diversity and Inclusion Task Force. You volunteer and you give talks to high school and college students and provide mentorship through the UB Blackstone Project. You've also, which I think is cool, you've been serving as the editor and layout artist of Earth Daughters. It's a literary magazine, and it's the longest running feminist literary magazine in the world since 2007. So you have a lot of things that bring you joy.
What's sleeping? I don't do that.
I know. What? Why would we sleep? Well, speaking of, you also have a podcast. It's called Reach the Stars. And I love your description because it is a collection of conversations with cool people who do cool things. So tell us a little bit about the Reach the Stars podcast.
So I started it during COVID because I am a very obvious extrovert, a very obvious introvert. He was out peopling at work all day, and I was at home mompreneuring with my kids and doing the virtual school and trying to run my business. So he would come home and I'd be like, please talk to me, full sentences, I'm going to lose my mind. And he would say, please don't talk to me, I can't handle it.
Do we have the same husband? Wait, anyway, keep going.
I was like, I need an outlet. And I also have ADHD. So I have had all these amazing conversations with people over the years, and I knew that they were amazing, but did I remember exactly what we said? No. So I was like, I knew that the world needed inspiration at the time, still does, but during COVID, for sure, people needed to know that they weren't, that there were still people out there doing amazing things all around the world, and that the world was not ending. So I said, well, my biggest resource is the people that I know, my network. I know these amazing people who are doing the coolest shit all over the world. And so cool. I just started asking people that I already knew. I said, hey, do you want to come have a conversation on Zoom and tell everyone about all this cool stuff that you're doing?
I love it.
I ended up building it on that. And it's funny because way back when I was in college, the business plan that I have, that I still have on the shelf in my office, still have the binder, I had like a personal brand and then the business on.
Yeah, and that's so important.
The business still had the name Papercraft Miracles, so like it's had that. But the name of the personal brand that was on there was Reach the Stars.
Oh, and so you did it.
I didn't even think about it. It had been sitting there for so long. And then my older brother, who died of cancer in 2008.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He had given me a bookbinding book for a Christmas present. And I still had the little tag, like when people fold the gift wrap over and write it. I still had that taped on the inside of it. And at the time, or my now middle kid was about 2 years old, and he pulled the book off the shelf, opened it, and started kind of scribbling in that gift tag, which of course I was like, no, don't do that. It's so special. And then I looked at it, and I looked at what my brother had written in there, and the parts that my kid had scribbled on really was kind of pointing to two parts of it. And my brother had written, always reach for the stars, even if you must stand on a cactus.
Oh my God, I love that.
My kid had kind of underlined my brother's name. And I know this is the kind of thing that like makes your hair stand on end, because my second son, Thurgood, his name is Thurgood.
Cute name.
He was born the day after my brother's death anniversary.
Wow.
My brother died on Day of the Dead. So this is like extra weird, right?
Dia de los Muertos. Wow.
He looks like him. He acts like him. He is so much like my brother. It is unbelievable.
Beautiful.
And I was always thinking that like November, I dreaded November because that's when my brother died. And I was like, there's nothing good, whatever. Just Thanksgiving is it. And like, before
now November 2nd is it?
Yep. November 2nd. That's when he died. And then my kid was born on the 3rd. And I was like, I had no doubt that my brother said, you need to you can only wallow for one day, because the next day
that's all you get.
You have to have a birthday party.
That's so beautiful. There's so many things in your life and so many connections that are really, really beautiful. Thank you for sharing them with us here today.
Anytime.
So I know, Janna, you've had mentors in your life. There's got to be somebody who's, other than that incredible, now I've lost the word, the guy at college, your advisor, your incredible advisor in college, who kind of said, the world's your oyster. So I want to know, what is the most impactful piece of advice you've ever received from somebody that's really stuck with you to this day?
It's so hard to narrow it down to one. How about I have one I was given as a kid, and then one I was given as an adult. Okay, so
you can do that.
First day of kindergarten, I went to the gifted and talented school, and I came home from school and I said, Mom, kindergarten is boring.
Oh yeah.
And she said, if you're bored, you're not trying hard enough.
Oh, I like that.
Not because anyone is going to make you. If you're able, go do it.
If you're bored, you're not trying hard enough.
And then she said, do it. And go do it because you can, not because anyone's going to make you. And she, at the time, I don't think I really understood it, but so many times in my life since then, that shows up. Like, I'm able to do this. And it's not that I'm doing something, I don't even think she intended to instill like you get to go do these things.
Yeah.
You get, instead of you have to. And it changed my whole mindset. And so it's like, oh, well, I get to start a business. I get to, when I got laid off of my job because I couldn't, afford childcare, it was just like, oh, you get to start your own business now. It's not like you have to be unemployed. And it was like, no, it's all on how you think of it. And so
It's all mindset, isn't it?
She flipped it around. And so and as a kid in school, that's really, for anyone who's still in school now, whatever crap they're asking you to do for school, if you're able to do it, do it. If you're not able, ask for some help. But like, if you're able to do what they're asking you to do and you do it and get it done, they'll leave you alone. You can do it.
That's right.
So that is gold. And when I was in college, right after my mom died, a different professor that I had, who was my Buddhism in America teacher, this guy, John Bowman, excellent. He said, I went and I asked him, he had lost his parents at that point. And I said, this feeling that I have right here, after my mom died, I'm like, does it ever go away? Does it go away? And he said, nope, it doesn't go away. You just get used to the way that it sucks. And, I find myself going back to that and thinking about that when thinking about grief. And when there's a lot of people in the world who think kind of like, oh, you should have 6 months to grieve and then be over it. And it's like, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't.
And I think that like that feeling of that hole being there, it's not ever going to go away.
It's not.
Trying to pretend that it does or that it should is not helpful. So I think that's one thing that I impart on a lot of other people when they're like, oh my God, this is the worst. This is the worst. I'm like, it is. You're in a real shitty club with a lot of great members.
Oh, that's so hard. But what great advice. I've heard so many advices, a piece of advice about grief, about, oh, your heart grows around it. They never stops aching. And, it's just there. But the fact is, you just get used to the way it sucks. I mean, you do. Life moves on and it's now a part of you.
Yeah.
Man.
And they say like grief is that it's at first it's like a giant ball and it's in a small box and it bumps into walls and you feel it all the time. And I don't know if the ball gets smaller or the box gets bigger eventually, but it's still always there and it's still
there.
Same way whenever it bumps into the walls, but the longer it's been, the less often it bumps into the walls. And like you get used to how that feels. But is it going to be the thing that you watch that show and the mom dies in the show and it's not going to like hit you the same? It's always going to hit you the same.
It's always going to hit you the same. You just get used to it.
Yeah. So
ouch.
I don't know. So much advice. So much advice. Done is better than perfect. That's my best business tip. Done is better than perfect. I love that one because I say it too. And also, great is the enemy of good. Just get it done. Done is better than perfect. Yep.
Love that too. So I read a line in your biography that I just want to talk about for a second. It said that you like bright colors, giggling, and things that are small. So what does that mean? Do you collect pebbles? I mean, what things that are small? What is it?
I mean, really anything that's small, like miniatures or like little tiny, terrariums and dioramas, or like that one tiny little flower that you see in between the cracks of the sidewalk, or like,
I love that. What an awareness of the world you have. What an awareness of the world you have. That's incredible.
I just love, cute little bitty things. Like, I have a whole collection. I have an old letterpress tray that I have hung on the wall.
I love letterpress. Yeah.
Tiny animals. I have little tiny animals of all different varieties. Like some of them are glass and wood and metal or whatever, and like just little tiny animals. And I've been collecting them my whole life. So I like miniatures.
Oh, I think that's pretty cool. Wow. Well, what kind of advice would you give to women who have a dream and they're an artist and they really want to do something with it, but they just don't know how to make money? What kind of advice would you give them?
Take my course when it comes out.
All right. Love it.
The very first step, it's not even just for artists, but artists in particular, you have to be your own biggest fan.
You do, don't you?
Be an entrepreneur. You need to be your own cheerleader. You need to love what you do.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to shout it from the rooftops and hand your business card to rando people in the line at the grocery store, like if you don't always have a card in your pocket, if you don't always have some kind of way to have a 10-second elevator pitch of what you do. I am, we are, we do, we want.
Yeah.
Have that in your back pocket every second of the day. And if you're not willing to shout it from the rooftop, if you're not 110,000% proud of your work and what you do, and really truly know why it is that you do it and why you love it and why other people should love it, no one else is going to love it. Like,
That's
why
true.
should they care if you don't?
You have to be your biggest fan. You're my biggest fan. I am, we do, we are, we want.
Yep.
Wow, I love that.
Those are all things I learned. Like, one of my first jobs was going door to door, collecting money to change the environment.
Wow.
And you had 10 seconds before someone's going to slam the door in your face. So I got really good at the elevator pitch. I am, we are, we do, we want.
You have
if
to.
You can't get it out in 10 seconds, they're never giving you anything.
That's true. Wow. Such good stuff here today. There's so much here. So, Janna, I believe that every woman on earth has a superpower, and I could name some of yours, but I want you to tell us what it is.
Okay. So again, because I have multiple personalities, I think I have at least two. So I'm going to say one that's me and one that's my alter ego. Okay.
Okay. Do it.
So my main superpower is that I laugh all day long.
That is an incredible superpower. And do you want to know what? We've never had that one.
It's just, there's so many things that it just happens and I'm like, okay, what's next? You have
to be able to, right? You have to be able to laugh.
Yeah. And my alter ego, my stage persona, which is what I perform as when I'm playing music, is MC Vendetta. Badass bitch.
Love it.
And a lot of times while I'm performing, it doesn't even feel like it's me doing it. Like, it's definitely, it comes from somewhere else. She is the channel. Pulls that from somewhere else. And her superpower is that she doesn't take any shit from anybody. Like, totally fearless.
I like that one too.
Performs fearlessly and doesn't care at all if people like her or not.
You know what? My superpower is it's none of my business what other people think of me. Because once you put it out there to the universe, it's not yours anymore.
Yep.
So I like both of those. I love it that you laugh all day long, but also that your alter ego doesn't take shit from anyone. This has been such a fun conversation today. Oh my gosh. So Janna Willoughby Lore, founder of Papercraft Miracles, mother, activist, supporter of women. Where can we find you online?
You can find me on my website at papercraftmiracles.com and on pretty much all of the social media platforms at Papercraft Miracles.
Nice.
And I'm on LinkedIn under my own name and the business.
Nice. And your podcast is called Reach the Stars, and it is anywhere podcasts are listened to, right?
Yep. And on YouTube.
Nice. Oh, and a YouTube channel too. Go look. Janna is fascinating and fabulous. So, Janna, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. Bucket list, of
course. Awesome. And I want you to remember, listeners, we all have superpowers. Janna has two. She can laugh all day long, but also her alter ego doesn't take shit from anyone. I have superpowers, and listeners, you have superpowers. Tap into them and use them for good. And thank you for listening today to the Lead Like a Woman show, where we are passionate about empowering women leaders to empower others. Now go out there and don't take any shit from anyone. Have a great day.